So the primary reason we were out was to block AB 715, right? AB 715 is this terrible bill that started as an anti-ethnic studies bill and then is being used by the right to say, well, it's really to protect students against anti-Semitism in the classroom, right? The kinds of people who are doing this, they are the anti-Semites. They could give a damn about anti-Semitism, what they're trying to do. And if you think about it, people like Donald Trump are using claims of anti-Semitism to go after student protesters at UCLA and all the UCs, right? Donald Trump doesn't care about anti-Semitism. He is an anti-Semite. What are you talking about, right? And so they're using this as an opening so that teaching truth in the classroom becomes something that's criminalized. So on Friday, a bunch of us went up to Sacramento to try to block AB 715. And all of my friends who are Jewish, they don't like AB 715 and they're opposed to the war in Gaza, and they're opposed really to Israel and the genocide that they're carrying out. Like they believe that you can't be a justice-loving Jewish person and be okay with slaughtering hundreds of thousands of people, right? And that if anything, when you talk about genocide, Jewish people, it should resonate with Jewish people that we should be opposed to genocide, right? Because they suffered their own genocide, okay? So AB 715, the AB is Assembly Bill 715. The California State Assembly, these Zionists, there's two Zionists, there's more than that, but two Zionist state legislators, state assembly members, named Rick Zabur and somebody Addis, I forgot her first name, right, who wrote this bill, AB 715. They're heavily funded by, this is stuff that gets me in trouble. So Congress, most members of Congress are bought and paid for. Do you know the only other, well, there's one exception, but the only non-American flag that's sitting in front of many, many, many congressional offices?
Israeli. Is it AIPAC?
Because of who?
AIPAC.
Right. So these members of Congress, you're supposed to represent Florida, homie, right? You're supposed to represent California, or you're supposed to represent South Carolina. I kid you not. I walk the halls. I'm going to be there next week. I'm going to be walking halls. These fools don't even like Jewish people, right? Have you ever heard of a old white South Carolinian talking about how much they love Jewish people? No. But in addition to the American flag, they got the damn Israeli flag. You're supposed to not be working for Israel. You're supposed to not only be representing American people, you're specifically supposed to be representing South Carolinians or Floridians or, but they got the Israeli flag sitting out there.
Did you see that bullshit where like 250 U.S. legislators just flew to Israel, or that whole 50 states want Israel BS?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Look, where you started going, Justin, though, is why do they have Israeli flags and why are they caping for Israel? Why did the Israeli flag become the first flag, the only flag in the country that it's a felony to burn?
Israel's a false state built upon westward influence.
Okay, but who made it so that the U.S. and these U.S. politicians are propping up Israel? You said
AIPAC.
the name of
AIPAC.
Say it.
AIPAC.
AIPAC. What is AIPAC?
American Israeli
Political Action Committee.
Thank you.
American Israeli Political Action Committee. Remember I said what I say in here? I don't need you to just believe me. You shouldn't have blind trust in anybody. I want you to go back and look up what is AIPAC, AIPAC, okay? AIPAC has bought and paid for almost every single member of Congress. He did the same thing to a brother named Jamal Bowman, who was out of Brooklyn. They ran the most AIPAC bought legislator, a black Puerto Rican, right? What's that fool's name? Richie Torres. They had him run against Jamal Bowman and put tens of millions of dollars behind him, okay? So AIPAC has bought all of these legislators, our so-called black minority, I guess he's a minority leader now, right? Hakeem Jeffries. That's why, anybody listen to the Breakfast Club? You do? Do you know what they call him on there?
No.
They call him, his name is Hakeem Jeffries. They call him AIPAC Shakur, right? Because he's bought and paid for by AIPAC.
Yeah.
So at the federal level, and I want you all to look this up, you can, there's a website, Track AIPAC, and you can look up and see how much each of these Congress members have taken from AIPAC. So I'm saying all that to say that's what happens at the federal level. At the state level, there's an organization called JPAC, right? Which I didn't know this until very recently, which does the same thing with state legislators. AIPAC doesn't give in California to state legislators, but they do have individual gifts that they organize, and then there are other places that organize. So what they did is put all this money behind these legislators that are now too afraid to say no to a racist anti-union bill like AB 715. So when we talk about the power of money, we don't have no whole lot of money. We don't have no AIPAC money, but we got a little money. Every single labor union is against AB 715, but we could not overcome the influence of the Israeli lobby.
Can we recall the legislators?
You can, but more effective than that, the executive has to sign it. Guess what hasn't happened yet? The executive, who's the executive at the state level?
Magic Newsom.
Huh?
Magic Newsom.
Magic Newsom. Gavin Newsom is the executive at the state level. Gavin Newsom also wants to be president of the United States.
Okay.
Don't think he's just coming after Trump because he got all of a sudden, grew a bigger pair of balls, right? He wants to be president of the United States. So what does he need? Elections are not free, nor are they fair. So he needs the support of unions. Is this a majority white state, California? No.
Not anymore.
No, it's a majority minority state. He needs the votes of people of color. So we can lobby Gavin Newsom, and nobody ever wins the presidency without winning their home state, right? So we can push Gavin Newsom to veto 715. So if you're willing, so this is a long way of me introducing you to a thing you can do right now. Go to tinyurl.com/veto715. tinyurl.com/veto715. That's it. And you can sign that petition to veto AB 715. That petition was generated by not just a labor union, but we're also in partnership with other community-based organizations. So that one actually comes from the organization that AIPAC hates the most, the Council of American Islamic Relations, right? So because they know that AB 715 is a particular attack on Muslims. So that's something that you can do. We talk about it every day in this class. When we say this country is built on the stolen land of indigenous people by the stolen labor and lives of our African ancestors, right? When we say that, we're recognizing that this land does not belong to the colonizer. What does revolution look like? And this is the part that some of you might feel uncomfortable with. But if you study revolution, revolution means using every single tool in your toolbox, from ethnic studies to spirituality. So that's part of revolution, is making the world that you want to live in, even as you're making the demand and making colonialism and white supremacist capitalism fall. Does that all make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I got for you today.